cool, dude. We're gonna have a philosophical conversation and a BDO. We're gonna have a philosophical conversation in a BDO stream, dude. Hell yeah, dude. Let me bring up my audios.
I was gonna come through later, but fuck it. I'm gonna just come through now. So,
Hey.
dude, I haven't talked to you in like forever.
Yeah, dude. Been a good minute, dog. You don't mind being on stream, right?
Nah, I don't, honestly. I'm just chilling right now. I'm just waiting on the guilty of mine so we can like grind like Toro and stuff. But yeah,
That's
I
great.
don't mind at all. Yeah.
So like you like listen to Jordan Peterson, right, or no?
No, I don't, but I do like listen to like some other people. Like, have you watched like Aubin preach or no?
Aubin Preach? No, it does not ring a bell.
Yeah, it's just two like dudes from Canada that talk about their life experiences and like what's going on around the world and why people act a certain way and stuff. So, and I haven't like gotten into that stuff until like last year because not gonna lie, dude, like 2020 was like the lowest I've ever been. Like my mental health just basically took a shit.
Yeah, dude.
Like I wasn't talking to anybody. I just wanted to be by myself. Work was stressful and all this other stuff. So I was like, you know what? Instead of being down in the dumps, let me like watch some like life coaches and stuff. And then I started like applying a lot of those things to myself. And I've been doing a lot better now though. But yeah, so that's why you basically haven't like heard from me the whole of last year.
Oh, dude, true. Same thing for me, man. Like, I could open up and tell you guys something very personal about me. So like, recently, I quit YouTube and everything. I quit streaming for a whole year. During that whole year, I was in software engineering, and we had clients that required you to live, eat, and breathe at school. I went to school Monday through Saturday, or Monday through Sunday, from 7 a.m. to 3 a.m. Monday through Sunday for a whole year. I couldn't even do my own laundry. I didn't have time for that. I didn't even have time to even cook myself a good meal. I gained 30 pounds during that year. And so this was my last year. And I was having to also deal with that and having to apply for jobs because I was about to graduate. I ended up getting an offer from a company that was really good. So I took the job. But this job required me to move all the way across the US to go to, away from my family and everything. Had no friends there, no one. Didn't know a damn thing about this place I was moving to. Fast forward, I'm stressing out, dude. It's finals week. I don't have an apartment to rent. I have a car leased already. I have an apartment leased already. The thing is that I don't know if I pass my finals, and if I don't pass my finals, then I don't get the job. But I already signed the lease for my vehicle and my apartment. So everything was riding on the final, and if I pass the final, then I get to work and continue my professional life, right? Everything went well, but it was really stressful. And so by the time everything happens and I move over here, it's the middle of the pandemic, dude. I don't know anyone over here where I just recently moved for work. And it's been super, super lonely. To the point where like I was dealing with all the stress. Before I moved over here, me and my older brother got in a big fight. And now me and him are not even in talking terms. And like, it's kind of shitty that I kind of left my brother like that, or my brother left me like that, because I really wasn't the aggressor in that whole like fight at all. But it's been a very lonely ride without any friends nor family, or you can't even do anything to even fix that situation because of pandemic. So my life during that time was just work and food. The weekends were there just so I could have some time to eat and then sleep and then go to work. That's all. And it's been a hell of a ride, man. 2020 has been really hard for everyone. And I always listen to Jordan Peterson even before that. And another rule that he has in his Beyond Order is never denigrate social institutions or personal achievement. And what he means by that is like, denigrate means like to dismiss or not to hold of value. That's what denigrate means. And so what he means by never denigrate personal institutions. Not personal institutions, public institutions. There we go. Or social institutions to be more exact. It doesn't mean like never denigrate like schools or like, you know, government offices. It means like social institutions of where you could interact with other people. Never ever dismiss interaction with other people, especially in public places like.
Can I say something on that real quick?
Yeah, for sure. Go for it.
Yeah. You see the thing with like, excuse me, the thing with people like who might be going through like some trauma or some sort of like struggle in their life, they feel as though that is like the whole world is against them. And trust me, I was the same last year. I'm like, damn, you know, like why is everybody against me, right? But one thing that we often mistake during these times as a human being, we are social creatures. We need to talk to somebody. You don't need to have a girlfriend or boyfriend or husband, wife, etc., etc. You need human interactions because trust me, you will go insane. And that's what a lot of us tend to forget. Even if it's talking to your co-worker, your teacher, you know, your schoolmates, classmates, whoever it is, as long as we have like that social interactions, you'll start to notice that like, hey, you know, maybe not everybody out there is out to like see me fall, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's my take on it. So
Yeah, you
I
hit.
have to start like reading his books and stuff because there's just actually it's giving me hope.
Yeah. This is the book Beyond Order. He has the first one is 12 Rules for Life.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you actually hit the first point on the head. Whenever I went through that rule, never denigrate social institutions, I thought of it as never denigrate government or political buildings or anything like social, right? Like, don't be like, oh, the library is dumb, you know? But no, you actually went straight to the heart. I actually had to like read the whole chapter twice to actually understand what he was talking about. Of never denigrating social institutions. Yeah, you hit the nail right on the head, Abyssal. Yeah, never ever think that meeting up with people is dumb. There's a reason to it. Back then, I was like that, man. I was just like, hanging out with people is whatever. Like, I don't want to go to a party. Who wants to go to a party? You know, people just get drunk and it's the same thing over and over again. Listen to music, dance, jiggle your butt.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nah, it's more than that. Like what you said, we're social beings, dude.
Yeah.
We're social beings, and also the next part that goes hand in hand with it too is never denigrate social or what's that called, self goals, right? Like your own personal goals, because your goals is what makes up you, right?
Yeah.
Whatever your goal is, that's all you. Like someone can't be like your goal is this. No, that's like you are doing this. Like your personal goals, they are what make up what is important to you right now.
Exactly. Yeah. I can go a little bit deeper into that as well. One of the things I've noticed with like, well, the people around me, like my ex-girlfriend, my dad, they'll always like tell me things. They're like, oh, you know, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, you know, like you're doing all this other stuff that's not gonna like benefit you. And it's just so like degrading at times because it's like,
What's up, Tom?
you know, my
Welcome
dad
to
is
the
like
stream.
almost like 70. He already lived his life. He's getting ready to like retire and shit. You know,
Yeah.
My ex is doing her own thing and all this other stuff, right? So in my mind, I'm like, why are you guys telling me how to live my life when you already have like your own life to live? Now, let's say if I want to do X, why are you telling me that Y would be better for me? You're you're not in my shoes. You don't know. You really don't know what's making me happy. And even if I say this is what's X is making me happy, you're saying no. Y is better. Like, why do people like do that? Just a question I have, honestly.
People like control, man. It's all about control. If people have control over like what you do, then that means you're predictable. People like things that are predictable. People don't like things that have chaos.
Hmm. Now,
Like,
another question. Oh my god, I fucking love this, dude. I haven't had this conversation like forever. I needed this.
true, dude.
But do you think that this chaos is necessary?
So that's the number one thing Peterson goes over his books. That's like you need to have one hand in chaos while the other hand is in while you're rooted. So you need to have both one hand in chaos and the other hand in your moral beliefs. Yo, welcome to the stream, dude. Welcome to the stream. Right now we're just having philosophical talk with my boy Abyssal. It's been a long while since we talked, so welcome. So yeah, I believe that chaos is a necessity in life. The thing is that if you go too deep end on the chaos, you're not gonna go anywhere because you don't have a direction. You know, life is more fun when you don't know where the hell you're gonna go. Life is not fun when you know exactly where to go, exactly what time, and exactly how. It's not fun. Like when you go to the store, right? Like you're just like, oh, I'm gonna see all these people, but I know what I want. I want mac and cheese. I'm gonna go to the mac section, get some milk, and get some cheese. But like, what if the brand is not there? So you find another brand. Oh, snap! A person's in your way. Walk the other way. And that's the whole point of like getting just mac and cheese, because it's not just simple as like grab and go. So yeah, like it's the chaos, dude. It could be something as little as going to the grocery store, or it could be something as little as you know, smiling at someone. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel as though like a lot of people also like take that like chaos
Thanks,
for
XO,
granted
for
sometimes,
the follow.
whether
Welcome to
like
the
you said,
family, dude.
whether it's like,
Hugs.
for example, going to like the cheese section, a lot, like you said, right? So let's say you go over there, right? Somebody's in your way, and you tell that person, excuse me, I'm trying to look for cheese, and then that person be like, okay, boom. I think this actually goes great with that, and then y'all have like this whole like deep conversation, and then you look 2 years down the road, this person is your damn best friend. So it's just crazy to think about how like sometimes certain like air quotes chaos or inconveniences can like net you like the greatest outcome to you sometimes.
Yeah, man.
You know?
I mean, let me bring up the other books, man, because there's a lot of books I like to read, and
Mhm.
like I take away a lot of like I'm not necessarily like a self-help type person, but like I do enjoy myself a good like philosophical read, especially when it comes to Peterson, because he's like the only guy that I could not agree with, but like analyze the way how he thinks about certain situations or certain topics. Count details. I mean, see, I cannot bring it up right now. I probably have to bring it up on my phone. This Audible's being mean. So, another dumb rule that Peterson mentions in his book, 12 Rules to Life. It's a very dumb rule, and I don't know why this rule works, and I was wondering if you have a little bit of an insight on why this rule is even included in the book. So Peterson mentions that in order to have a happy life, you must live in a clean space. In order to have a clean mind, you need to be in a clean. You need to be living in clean. So if your life isn't like all filthy, that means whatever you're living in is also filthy. And so it's kind of like a weird like psychological slash like how does this have to do with anything with my mental health slash thing. And so I've legitimately kept that in mind, and my place is clean, and honestly I feel happier. Like me personally, I don't know if it's just me reading the book and I'm biased about this, but like I tend to be more happier whenever my place of living or my room or my apartment is more clean. I don't know if you feel the same way, Abyssal.
Honestly, I do feel the same way because not to like harp on like what happened last year, but you know that's just where most of my like, for lack of a better term, awakening came from.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I was down in the dumps, like my place was just absolutely filthy. Like I had my clothes everywhere. I didn't want to do nothing. I didn't want to clean anything. And then I heard I think it was like a TikTok or just like a short clip somewhere. And this person just said, "Boy, clean your damn room." So I went, I cleaned the room, and I've just found happiness like out of nowhere. Like I don't know why is that. You know, I started, just by cleaning the room, I just I, I found joy in like, just living in this like clean space. And even my mom would tell me, I was like, if your place is like clean, you'll start feeling just a little bit happier. You'll start like thinking things through like a lot better. It's just weird how that works, and I don't know if it's like some deep like psychological thing that just like clicks in your brain. It's like, man, my space is clean, my mindset's clean, everything around me just feels great. I don't know why is that why it's like that, to to be honest with you.
I think it's just because like it's that personal like accomplishment, right? Like it's like you kind of feel accomplished, be like, yeah, dude, I did this, and it looks fucking good,
Hmm.
you know?
That's actually, damn, actually, I really don't want to say it makes sense, but like it's getting like it's so close, you know. It's like, holy shit, I clean my room. You, you know, you see, you
Yeah,
see
dude.
where I'm like trying to go at right now. It's like, damn, I just cleaned this whole mess up.
Yeah,
You
thanks
know?
GD for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome to the stream, dude. We're having philosophical chat with me and my boy Abyssal. It's been
Yeah,
almost 2 years since we talked, right? And it's great.
yeah,
It's crazy. It
it's been
doesn't
almost 2 years.
it doesn't feel like we skipped the beat at all. Um,
Yeah.
but thanks for stopping by the stream. Yeah. So like going back on the topic of why having a clean living space can help you with mental health. It's a weird. It must mean something. I probably have to go through the chapter again because I haven't read this book in about 3 years. Um, I probably have to go through that chapter again and see why Peterson decided, out of all the rules of life, to put in his first book that specific rule. Like taking up a whole rule out of 12, like the top 12, that is one of them. And it's kind of weird because, like, I would kind of agree with putting it in my top 12 as well. Considering that, like, I've personally, the shittier times of my life was when my room was by far the dirtiest. I don't know if you guys could relate in chat, but like, I think your mental health or your mental stability, more to put it more exactly, is correlated to how dirty your place is. I do find that as a very weird thing, or how it is. Okay, so I'm going through the other books or the other chapters. I like how he has it like labeled with a pretty easy to read and find chapter segments. So here's one. This is rule 2. Actually, rule 14, I guess. Imagine who you can be, and then aim single-mindedly at that. So that's another rule. What do you think about that phrase, Abyssal?
Repeat the phrase one more time.
Imagine what you could be, and then single-mindedly aim for it.
Um. Hold on real quick. Kind of trying to invite my guildie to this party.
Oh yeah, true. True. So
All right. So imagine who you can be, and then just put your mind to it.
yeah, just aim single-mindedly at that.
Um. I would say because I'm just gonna make like a just a little slight like exception here.
Yeah.
I mean, is he talking in terms of like, like realistic goals or like things that might be like impossible according to like the societal like standpoint of things? Because let's face it, we can become anybody we want, but it's just that like certain things that like may seem impossible, But
Well, it says what you could be, right? So that means it's got to be
what you
attainable.
could be. Okay, so it's so is it like a guaranteed, like if you like put in that work you're gonna become that person, or is it a possibility?
It's a possibility.
It's a possibility. Huh. This is honestly honestly a tough one because like and most of my output that you're gonna hear, this is gonna be from like personal experience. So
Yeah, yeah.
like there's it's been multiple things that like I would like to be,
Mm-hmm.
but like I'm just it says users already joined your party. Hold on, my bad. I'm just trying to figure out this BDO bug where I cannot invite my guildie. But damn, this is a tough one, and it's not a bad thing. Like I really don't like. I really like my mind being picked on like very like difficult questions.
Yeah.
I feel as though with like honestly that phrase, I feel as though it's like telling. It's just like straight up just telling people, just if you literally just have your mind for something and just go for it, right? But if you can get as close as possible to that like goal that you have, then you can still say like at least try to like get there. You know what I mean? Even if it didn't happen. So like I think I think the whole thing is just is just trying to like give people that sense of like accomplishment, to at least say that like they went about and tried to be somebody that they really like wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it like I don't know, even if it ended in like failure, or like you're just like halfway there. I don't know. That's that right there, just a pretty hard one, and probably because I really can't find the right answer right now, because I really don't know this person. I really haven't like read any of like Jordan's like stuff, so I really can't give like a concrete like explanation to why he would say that. Maybe you can help me out here instead of me just running around in circles.
No, like
you know?
it's interesting because like, well, you caught me off guard with the first one I asked you. Is like never denigrate social institutions or personal achievement, right? Like you got that one on the nail in the head, and it took me 2 read-throughs to get that whole point across, and you got it like right on the nose. So like this one, you're kind of, I feel like you're kind of spot on, but like you're kind of missing another part. And
Yeah.
so the question is like think of who you could be and solely aim for that like singular purpose, right? So
Yeah.
the way how he explains it and how I interpreted it the first time with that saying before I read the chapters. I like, if you try to become too many things all at once, you're not gonna achieve any singular thing. If that makes any sense, right?
Oh.
So that's what the chapter
my
goes
God.
into.
It was such a simple answer. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like
wow.
in my experience, right? I grew up playing guitar. I love playing guitar. I write music all the time. I have a lot of good songs. I have them on YouTube. The thing is that like I also wanted to do computer science. I fucking love computers. I love computers. I also like playing BDO and playing Zerker. I have a passion for Zerker. But it's just like I'm not gonna get anywhere if I'm trying to make my YouTube channel about computers, about guitar, about BDO. Like no, everyone's just gonna be confused. Like just pick one and stick with it. You'll see more success just uploading one other than a mishmash of everything. And so like that's what he goes in the chapter. Just like if you're gonna focus on one thing, then focus it on all the way. And that's why I had to quit streaming video and stop making content. And I even gave up making songs on my guitar. I haven't played my guitar while I was in college. I gave up playing guitar. I gave up uploading YouTube videos because it took too much time from my homework. Like it was like too much, dude. And so I focused solely on getting my degree. And since I focused solely on getting my degree, it bought me time to accomplish it. And not only did it buy me time to accomplish it, but now I have time now to actually get back to what I wanted to do. So tasks could be always completed. You could always pivot to the next one once it's already completed. And that's what it goes on. You just focus on one thing at a time instead of trying to finish everything all at once. Like have a checklist, one at a time. You'll get places. And that's what the whole rule is. I don't know if you agree with that.
Makes sense. So would that also go into like basically, sacrifices must be made to like achieve who you want to be as well, or am I just like reaching too far right now?
No. That too, dude. Like it goes hand in hand. Like for me, when I went through college, I lost a lot of my personality. I lost a fuck ton of my personality. You know why? Because I needed to get that degree. It was required. I had to give up bits of my personality to get that. So yeah, you're basically on point with that too, if you look into it deeper.
Yeah, because I mean, I was also in the same boat like a couple years back too. I was like, man, I really want to get into like computer science and whatnot. But then again, like the whole like working with like computers and stuff was kind of like a hobby, and I really didn't want to make my hobby a job because it's gonna just be like, to me at least is definitely gonna be like the conflicts here and there, because it's like, man, I just love taking time out to spend, a couple $100 on like, testing out different like, PC parts and whatnot, trying to see like what's the best build I can make with like $500 and whatnot, right? But then like I really can't do that if I just, go to some like PC repair shops, start working there, and then they're like, man, you got to do it this way and whatnot, and not the way that like I love doing it. So I can see how that rule like works out perfectly too.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting, honestly.
And
also, quick question. I do have like some cherry mixes, and I don't want it to like, like bother you or anything. So I don't know if you want me to go and push the talk or something.
No, it's fine, dude. Your audio levels are perfectly fine.
Yeah, because I decided to buy a new mic, and holy crap, it's working once straight now.
Yeah, dude. I use RTX voice to like deaden my stuff. Like I could legitimately clap in my mic and you guys will not hear it on stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, so on to the next point. These rules are really simple when it comes to Jordan Peterson. And it's like Why the hell are they so simple, and why isn't my life, like that? Why
Yeah,
couldn't I figure this shit out by myself? And it's pretty simple, right?
yeah.
There's another rule that's really simple, but yet it has a lot of like meaning behind it, and it's called "Don't do things you hate." It's a very simple rule: don't do things you hate. And Peterson opens up this "Don't do things you hate" with what's that called? With a woman in her corporate job talking with her higher ups about a flip chart and how that displays statistics of the company. And they're looking at this flip chart, and they spent legitimately days upon weeks of determining if the word flip chart is appropriate for the workplace. They spent hours upon hours, cycles upon cycles, determining if the word flip chart is appropriate for the workplace. This woman had to play, the card of, I am concerned about this because if I'm not, then that means I am complicit and being a racist, because back then flip was considered a slur against Filipinos, even though it's never used like that in today's terms. I don't think I ever heard that term being used as an insult at all, but yet these
This is
people
my
were
first
so.
time hearing that, honestly.
I guess it's a very old thing, but if you look it up on Google, flip chart, that's like one of the top Google results would be is flip chart derogatory or something like that. And so
I'm not looking at that.
this woman didn't like being part of those conversations, but if she said, "Hey, like let's just stop having those conversations," then she'll be accused of being like a racist, or she's like doesn't care, and she's callous and doesn't care about like equality and other people being of color. She just
Yeah.
doesn't like doing those things because it's like, hey, we did something cool, our morale is good, we're good people. We changed the name flip chart to flop chart, I guess.
Yeah.
But they really didn't do anything. All what they did is instead of improving everything around them, they just changed the name and considered it a moral achievement. And so it goes back to the story is like, don't do things you hate. So this woman called out all the board of directors for being so dumb and wasting time and stopped going to those meetings, but yet she proved results of why having that much time spent on that instead of just actually fixing things would make morale more better. So instead of like taking part of those conversations, she just did whatever she did to make her corner better instead of putting that effort in that. So if you were to stay there, you would just become ever just go through the notion. It'll be like next time. The next time will be easier, and after that, the next time will be even more easier. Just to like go through the notion, saying, "Yeah, we did something cool. Yeah, skip paycheck." And it'll be easier, right? You're getting paid. It looks like you're doing something when you're really not, and it doesn't sit well, and it also lowers down your morale, even though you don't know that it is. So what's your take on don't do things you hate with this all?
Um, let's see. Don't do things you hate. Wait. Before that, quick question.
For sure.
Did they remove the Omun scrolls
Did they? I don't know.
from the loyalties?
I have no idea, dude. I don't pay attention to that.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. Let's see. Don't do things you hate. Honestly, with that one, I can give you like a perfect example with me right now. Um, I've been working for a certain newspaper company. Really don't want to call their name out or anything like that.
Yeah.
But not gonna lie, I really hate the job. I don't like it, right? But it's just the fact of like, people giving me praise like, hey, you're doing a good job here, keep up the good work, da 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 da. So in my head, it's like maybe one day, like like this whole like area would potentially change for the better, and maybe it will become some place that I like working at.
Yeah.
So once again, um, some people may kind of like do things they hate, maybe because they feel like stuck. They feel
Yeah.
stuck and they feel as though this is the best that they can do right now, even though they're like despise what they're doing. So it's so and this also goes into like my thought of like, you know, if you're like doing things that you hate, like what's the point of like even doing it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so what's weird about this one is it's starting now to connect with me. That it's starting to connect back to the other rule of Jordan Peterson is don't keep things buried, like don't keep the bad things hidden, always keep them up front. Because if you
Yeah.
keep on doing the things you hate, like it's just another thing that is just going to keep on bothering you every day for the rest of your life. You
Yeah.
have to deal with it X amount of times, putting X amount of effort. And infinitely gets big due to how much time you leave it. And like
Yeah.
that's correlated to, you know, don't do things you hate because those two go hand in hand. And that's crazy. That's like a double rule.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Because like even like an example, like I really don't mind like bringing that part out either. Like I had a conversation with my like, well, my second eldest sister, because she would always complain about like her ex-boyfriend and all this other stuff, right? She would call me like, oh, I hate him, blah 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 blah, whatever, whatever, right? But then the next day she'll be like, oh, um, we made up and things are better now. And then 24 hours later, she'll call back saying how much she hates him and all this other stuff. I was like, so why are you like why are you still there? And even she can't even answer that question. So she hates like being with this dude, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like she feels as though like this is all she can do. So I just don't know, man. Like I don't know. Actually no. I think now that you like brought in like the other rule in here, did his book mention anything about complacency as well or no?
Let me see. I'm going through. I haven't read through the first thing.
But I think complacency might be another like big part of like why people will be stuck in doing things they hate or jobs they hate or relationships they hate.
I think that's those 2 points or those two rules that he has goes over that part. I
Okay.
haven't I haven't went through the first. I went through the first book. I'm going through it now. Um, I haven't been. I'm only through the first four on the second book. So here's another rule from the first book of 12 Rules of Life. The one that I want to go over is see. Tell the truth or at least don't lie.
Ooh.
That's a big one. That's the one that I try my hardest to like do in everyday life. And it could be as like a little lie, be like, oh, you just told the lie because you didn't feel like explaining it. You know, it's just like, oh, why did that person leave? It's just like, oh, because they had to go visit their brother or something like that. Even though they left for something different, right? It could be like your
Yeah.
best intentions were just like, hey, like this person's mom just died, you know, and that's why they had to leave. But it's like, no, they had to go pick up their brother instead because you don't want to like make it uncomfortable. You lied right there. You 100% lied. And his rule goes over like it doesn't matter what lie it is, no matter how big or small, lies add up.
Yeah.
They add up. It doesn't matter if you're using the lie to help someone, to protect someone, to, you know, help yourself. Just don't lie. That's the rule itself. Is like, tell the truth or at least don't lie. Like I like that. It's just like, well, you can't go far in life telling the truth, you know, or you can't go far in life just telling the truth always, because you're gonna make people
Yeah.
fucking mad at you. You're gonna-
Yeah.
you're gonna step on lots
Yeah.
of toes, like a lot of toes, just telling the truth.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, well, does my dress look good on me? No, I don't think it looks cute. You know, and then boom, you're in a fight with your SO, and now
Yep.
like everything's on. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, lying isn't
like
always.
I remember like my ex, she wore like this very like weird contrasting outfit. Like I think it was like a goddamn I think it was like a bright green skirt and then like a pink shirt, right? I was like, you look like a
Yeah.
watermelon. Like that
Oh
doesn't look good. And
no.
and she got and she got mad. I was like, hey, at least I told the truth. But then she was like, oh, you really didn't have to put it that way. So what you wanted me to do, lie? I was like, and she didn't answer. So it's like, let's face it. Sometimes like the truth do hurts, but like in my opinion, I feel as though the lie does more damage because like you said, you know, sometimes those lies like add up, and then and then you're just gonna turn to the person that cries wolf, and then it's gonna just get to a point where people will not believe you. So, in my honest opinion, um, sometimes lies are necessary depending on who you're dealing with. Now, let's say if you're always like telling the truth 100% and you know that like this person like reacts like very like negative towards the truth or something. Sometimes it's necessary to lie because you don't want to always be in conflict with the person you're talking to, right? So you just throw in a lie here and there and whatnot. That also avoids conflict, which also avoids like the other like bullshit that comes with said conflict, whether how big or small it is. You know, just
Yeah,
especially like today, like our generation at least, we really don't like hearing the truth.
yeah, especially
You
social
know.
media. At a certain point, though, you shouldn't lie when it encourages and reinforces a negative behavior. That's what Leo was saying. Yeah, I
All
do
right.
agree with
Let
that.
me. Okay.
At a certain point, though, you shouldn't lie when it encourages or reinforces negative behavior. I don't think you should lie in general. That's my thing. I like to take that rule at its face value, and I know it kind
Yeah.
of sounds like a little bit like white knightish, um, but it's just like I see it as a challenge, right? I don't see it as like a moral or ethical thing. I see it as a challenge. I don't see it as like, oh, I'm doing good and I'm doing people good not lying, or I'm doing myself
Hmm.
good not lying. I see it as like, how can I navigate this where I do not lie? And it actually makes conversations pretty fun, in my
Yeah.
opinion. I know it kind of sounds like I'm a little bit like psychotic or like, you know, like on the mental side for thinking of it like that, but it's just like it is a challenge. It is a
Yeah.
literal challenge to stick to this rule. I'll give you guys a challenge. Pick 3 days out of your week. 3 days. Slightly less than half of your week. And try not to lie or at least like tell the truth or at least don't lie on those exact 3 days. It could be back to back to back or you could take a break in between them. See how far you get. See on what day you messed up. See how long you could get.
Hmm.
Like you'll be surprised how many times you lie a day. Or you could just go through your day and just mark down how many times you lied. And I know it kind
Hmm.
of sounds bad that you're like, oh, I lied here, I lied there, and I know it's like kind of like negative, but it's just like people don't realize how many times a day they lie. I remember I was lying to my mom of what I had for what time I had breakfast at because like I didn't feel like explaining to her like, oh, and then I went to do this after I hanged out with these guys, and I didn't want to be exact because like it took too
Yeah.
much time explaining what I was doing. It was just like, oh yeah, I just recently had lunch, you know.
Yeah.
So
And doesn't that like kind of also falls back on like we as humans we kind of like to make our lives a lot fucking easier sometimes, you know, so sometimes just throwing in a lie here and there, you know, just takes off like all that pressure off of you.
yeah,
But I've honestly started getting into the habit where of like, you know, I would rather I would rather like you know, take that risk with telling the truth. And let's face it, the truth also has like a lot of risk involved. Whether it's just like it's going into a full blown like conversation, or just that truth just leads to many more questions and whatnot. I've started to like just taking that risk, and honestly, I've started feeling like a little bit better like about myself, whether it's like confidence or whatnot. Just that like
Mhm.
just that like accomplishment of me just saying, hey, at least I told the truth, whether it was liked or not. Because like Leo said, sometimes lies just leads to like certain habits that's kind of deemed unnecessary, honestly.
Yeah.
And Leo, I'm 279, 350 with Pen Kudum and Pen Zarka because he asked for
Mm.
gear.
Got that flex
Yeah.
though.
That really wasn't a flex. Like I'm still behind. Like I'm still behind like the gear curve. Or I could have lied and said, I'm 630.
Yeah, basically. It would have
You
been
see, it's
easier. It would have been
it's as
easier.
simple as that.
Yep.
You feel me? Like I really did have to explain like the specifics of my gear. I could have just said, hey, I'm 630, even though technically I'm 628 right now.
Hmm.
you know. You see, so even that rule, like, just as something as simple as that rule like
It's
came into
there,
play,
dude.
which I think is crazy, honestly.
Yeah. It's a simple rule. And like,
Yeah.
I want to ask you the weirder rules. Let me.
Uh-huh.
These rules come in at the end of the book, but I feel like these rules have the most amount of meaning because they're so abstract in the way how he explains it, but the way how he labeled the chapter is what encapsulates it. So it says, this is the last rule. It says, Rule 12: pet a cat when you encounter one on the street. What do you get from that?
All right. I'll make a joke right here, real quick, right?
Yeah.
What if that cat has rabies?
Let's
All right.
assume the cat doesn't have rabies.
Let's assume the cat doesn't have rabies. All right, bet.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Leo says,
um,
"Pet that bitch." Hell yeah, brother.
um, you see, with questions are like rules like this. I can only answer it from like face value because like once again like I really don't know like what the question is like trying to or the rule is trying to like
Well,
entail.
well, put yourself in that situation, right? Like, pet a cat when you see one on the street, right? Just put yourself in that situation. Like, take it literally.
At face like take it literally at face value, just like okay, here's just a random cat out here, let me just pet it.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking from experience, like I really don't like I rarely pet cats, so.
Or what if it's just a
But
dog though? Like, it could be any animal
okay,
you like.
dogs. Okay, now dogs. This is where my bias comes
Yeah,
in. I
we
like,
could supplement
yeah,
animals here.
yeah.
Let's do that.
Okay, I can pet like I can go ahead and pet a random dog. If it if it seemed friendly, yeah. Like I'll literally go ahead and pet a dog.
Yeah. So, like, do you have any other thoughts on this topic or no? Before I explain it.
No, no, not really, because it's like I said, it's a really difficult question here. So like most of these rules that you're really telling me, like only the first one, I could have answered immediately because I've had the most experience with that rule. But then the other ones, until they're like, fully like explained, or like I have like a solidified opinion on those rules, then I can be like, okay, yeah, I can give you an example of how this happened to me or whatnot. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So, the way how Peterson explains this rule is that the reason why he uses a cat is because cats are usually alone, without their owner, especially when you just see a cat on the street, because you could see that more often than a dog alone on the street, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he uses the cat. So whenever he says pet a cat when you see it on the street, that means like usually animals bring joy to people because they're always so damn happy. They're always living in the moment. They have no care. They don't care about when their next meal is. They don't care about like what's trying to kill them currently. They just care about what's there and now. Like, oh, there's a person I can interact with. Let's go say hi. Let's go see what it is. Oh, there's a noise. Something smells good over there, right? They're just always in the moment. So what he means by that is like when joy or any type of like small little like sense of happiness visits you, you should take the time to like enjoy it or at least embrace that small moment of like happiness. Or I wouldn't even consider happiness, of just like non like negative like situation, right? Like you take the time, you pet the cat. You enjoy the presence of the cat enjoys you. You both don't gain anything significant from it, and you guys both don't gain anything negative. So it's just like
So could this also be that, like, you know, sometimes it's okay to like share your joy with just a random thing?
yeah.
Could it be like that as well?
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
you see, and this is what I'm talking about. Like, I really can't fully answer until like I get like a proper interpretation of the rule.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
So like usually like whenever you pet a cat, right? That's you showing affection to the cat. So you're showing affection to whatever presented itself to you in that moment. And it's kind of weird because like this question starts becoming less and less about the damn cat and more about you enjoying the moment. You know, what is presented in front of you, you experiencing it and you acknowledging it in a positive manner instead of being like, oh, that's a cat, fuck cats, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, the things presenting itself to me is an inconvenience. I'm not gonna bother. See, like, what if you pet the cat and the or the cat remembers you the next day and will wait for you outside of your door? Hey, you just made a friend, you know?
So could this rule also apply to people who take things for granted?
Yeah. Exactly.
You see what I'm talking about? Do you see what the fuck I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You see, now I can fully answer this stuff and ask more questions to see, like, you know, how these certain rules apply, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. I'm definitely gonna have to go read this book. Holy crap.
Yeah, this, like, the 12 Rules of Life by Jordan Peterson, I don't necessarily agree for what everything he says. But just, like, the points he comes up with is good enough to have a conversation. Or good enough to make you form your own opinion about this.
Exactly, yeah.
So, here's another thing. I don't know if you want another straightforward one or another one of the one with the cat.
Bring anyone that you feel like, because you gave me the invite so we can talk. So let's
Okay.
just say you're the host and I'm just a guest.
Okay.
How about we just
Let's
put
get
it
the
that way?
interesting ones out of the way then. So this is Rule 11. So this is also another weird rule. This one says, do not bother children when they are skateboarding. What do you think about that?
Children when they're skateboarding.
Think of it as a literal sense.
Okay. Yeah, cool. This one I kind of have a little bit of confidence of you know, answering, right? So when you see when you see like literally like when you see like people like skateboarding in general, right? What's the first thing that comes to mind? Okay, they must be having so much fun, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's
So-
exactly what Leo said too in the chat.
Yeah. So it just kind of feels like just don't like, you really don't need to bring any like negative like energy into somebody that you see who's like truly happy. or just having a good time or enjoying themselves. Unless they're putting themselves in danger, and that's a different story. But but if somebody is like truly happy with what they're doing, who are you to come say, this is wrong, or you're just bringing like a whole like negative vibe, and then later on that person's like, you know what, maybe what I'm doing really isn't that fun. Maybe I should go do something else. Like, keep in mind, before you came through and started like, pressuring them into believing that this is wrong, they were having like the time of their lives. You feel me? So that's just how I I kind of took that rule.
So yeah, you got half of it.
Okay.
It's weird, right? Like I thought, like I, you seem pretty confident on like that you got the whole question down, right? But no, this
Yeah, exactly.
you only got half of
But
it. So it's weird because like I never thought about that question like how you just said it, and Peterson
mhm,
explains it in his in that book pretty clearly, right? The thing is
mhm.
that what's that called? You explained it in the positive manner, right? Like the way how Leo said it, right?
Yeah,
People, if people are doing things that don't like concern you, then why should you care, right? Like
yeah.
they're vibing, you're vibing, like we all vibing. Just let people vibe, right?
Mhm.
Let people love to do whatever they like to do as long as it isn't bothering you, boo. You know. But the way how I saw this question is like skateboarding, right? Have you ever gone skateboarding or like picked up a skateboard and actually like try to like do anything with it?
Yeah.
The
Back in
shit's
high school, yeah.
shit's dangerous, bro. You could legitimately break some big bones with that, you know?
Yeah, I remember hitting those rocks and almost breaking my ankle multiple times.
Yeah. And it's the way how like interpreted this is that like, hey, there are kids out there, dude. They're young, they're learning. Let them fall on their ass so they can learn. Don't try to deaden their falls and deaden their mistakes by helping them. Let them fall on their ass, let them get hurt, let them cry, let them break the bone. They know what they're doing, they know it's dangerous. It's fun, right? But let them do it.
hmm
Let them do it. They will never ever experience how fun it is to be skateboarding if you're there trying to aid them through it or even try to deaden their falls or watch them. Let them own their mistakes, let them own their pain, let them own their misery. They will learn from it.
oh damn. Oh damn. So this basically goes into like, people should like go through like some sort of like, I really don't want to necessarily say like a negative or bad experience, but people like should literally skateboard like, hey, this has risk. Like certain things you do will have risks. But even though you as an individual already gained that knowledge, like, hey, this what I'm doing right here, you know, might bring some sort of like trouble to me, but at least you have the experience. So instead of like warning them like, hey, doing this might put you in trouble, it's just like better to like let them learn the hard way, basically.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what Leo said. Yeah, people tend to learn better
People
from
tend to
bad
learn from bad
experiences.
experiences. Uh-huh.
Yep. Exactly. So, like, you saw it in the positive light, right? Like, yeah, dude,
Yeah.
if people are having fun, let them have fun, right?
Yeah.
This has a double meaning, right? I know it's kind of like
Yeah.
weird that, like, it's just a simple thing. It's like, if you see kids skateboarding, let them skateboard. Very,
Mm-hmm.
very simple, like, statement. But it's just
Yeah.
like, it has a lot of meaning. I saw it more of the negative view, and like for me, that's like one of my things. I see everything in in the negative light first, and that's just the way
Yeah.
I am. But like
Yeah.
you saw it in the positive thing. It's just like, hey, people are having fun. Let them have fun, dude. They just want to have fun. It doesn't bother you. Why are you concerned? The world is a better place when people are having more fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Just to go into that as well. Um, I can't like mention, but like a very close friend of mine, let's just say for lack of a better term, he was a fuck boy, right?
Yeah.
So then a couple weeks ago, he's like, "Hey, yo, Abyssal, I didn't gain shit from this." I was like, you know what? I really wanted to tell him, this kind of lifestyle you're living is bad. But then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna let him live his life and have him like go through, said experience. You know what I mean? So I think that rule can also like apply to him in like that scenario as well.
Yeah. So that's interesting, man. We had a really good conversation with that. That's
Oh hell yeah, yeah. I bro. Somebody once told me, if you're not learning something every day, you are not human at all, is what they told me. Let me guess.
What's
That's
up?
Leo, right?
yeah, that's
Babe?
Leo. It Leo.
So,
We,
dude, haven't talked to you in like
we
forever
have a
anyway.
third guest in
Yeah, it's
this
been a
show.
fucking while.
It's
Is
been
the
years. Back to the question in terms of my gear, I do have a duo Dead God as well, because I rushed that shit.
Okay, yeah, that's where the 350's coming from. I was like, hold on.
Yeah, I rushed the
Somebody
duo
fucking
Dead
add
God.
up, dude.
Yeah.
Bro, I was RNG carried the first month I came back to this game, and now it's just shit.
Yeah.
video be like that? Okay, let me bring up another question. So, oh, here's one that I like to live by. Alright, let me bring it up. I'm also fighting a really difficult mob at the meantime. So, this question, honestly, I do this every day, and this one has legitimately helped me out a lot when it comes to like self-improvement in terms of like goals. So, this question is rule number 4. So it's pretty early on in the book. Early on in the book, he gives you very straightforward rules that you can follow, so it doesn't get confusing and turn you off reading the book. It says rule 4: compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to someone else who is today. So if you're comparing yourself to what you were yesterday, that's good. But if you try to compare yourself to someone else, like right now, that's pretty bad.
To an extent, I could see that. Like, it's also good to see, like, uh, what you could be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
Because,
like you can see like what you could be, but you just don't compare yourself.
yeah, because
Okay.
I feel like most personalities are just a combination of a bunch of different personalities put together.
Uh-huh.
Like, everybody it takes something from their friends
Hmm.
and who they are around. But that's the most I have to
Yeah.
say for that. For
Yeah. I mean, I'm I'm gonna add a little bit there. It's not wrong to like look at somebody and be like, damn, this person is kind of like a role model to me in a sense. But the part of the rule that says, looking back at who you are like yesterday, I could see that as like the person just like doing a little bit of like self reflection kind of.
Hmm.
But going back to like comparing yourself to somebody else, I just feel like a lot of people like get caught up with like worrying about, what this, who this person is and how they can be that person instead of thinking who I can become, you know,
Hmm.
without, without having that blueprint. Like perfect example, I can say like, damn, Lunik is like 660. I want to be just like Lunik. I want to take the same gear path. Like I want to do everything just like Lunik. But the gear path that you took won't work the same for me, basically. And then when I'm not for lack of a better term, like you, then I'm just gonna bring disappointment to myself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's my take on it.
you hit it basically on the head right there. So the whole point of this is like, you gotta compare yourself to who you are, because why do you give a fuck or even care about what other people are doing? Because that is not you, right? You're gonna compare yourself to other, what, fucking 25, 24-year-old billionaire. You know, you're not gonna compare yourself to that guy. That's crazy. If you start comparing yourself to that guy, it's like, well, this guy made $1 billion at the age of 20. You're that's just gonna demotivate the hell out of you. You're not gonna get anywhere comparing yourself to, you know, the big billionaires, the self-made 25-year-olds who are millionaires. You're not.
Mm-hmm.
You're just not. And if you try to compare yourself to that, you're just gonna fall further and further into, you know, being disappointed in yourself, even though it's not you who you're comparing yourself to. It's like what I used to do way back then, right? Especially when I was trying to get fit, and stop like eating very, very bad, because I used to be 100 pounds more heavier than what I am currently, and it was the little steps. Is like, hey man, I walked 5 additional minutes than I did yesterday. A whole 5, dude. That means I am better today than I was yesterday. And then tomorrow, we just be like, well, I walked 5 more steps than yesterday. So that means you walked a total of 10 more steps compared to, you know, 2 days ago. And then that just keeps on adding on. You just keep on comparing yourself to what you were yesterday. It could be something as, you know, breathing more oxygen. Or, you know, it's just like the little things that you could compare yourself to yesterday, right? It could be little things, right? You'd be like, I smiled at 3 people today, when yesterday I smiled at only 2. So, yeah, like, I don't know if you see it the same way, Leo.
That, I don't know. So what you're saying there implies that progress is something linear.
I see it as something linear.
It's, I don't know, because the way I see progress is, especially when it comes to like self-reflection and stuff, and self-improvement, who you are yesterday could be a better version of you, and you essentially went back a day.
Yeah, so that's why you compare yourself, right? Like, let's see that yesterday you smiled more. Like, let's just keep this analogy of smiling at people is better, you know?
Yeah.
You smiled more people yesterday than you did today. So that means to be like, well, I'll try better. Oh, I'm actually doing bad. Okay, we need to get our shit together and smile at more people, you know?
But yeah, I mean, progress isn't gonna be something that I view as like a linear upwards kind of path. You're gonna have days where you go back. Like, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, but like the average is gonna be total like.
Yeah,
gain.
I mean, at the end goal, you're gaining, but you're gonna have that, like, along that pathway, you're gonna go back a little bit. It's inevitable.
Yeah, I feel like that's a given. I could agree with that term. Yeah.
Yeah, and with that too, I feel as though like that's just like an exception, but it necessarily doesn't like make the rule, basically. You know,
Yeah.
because you know, some days you'll be like, okay, I'll skip like leg day. Tomorrow I can continue leg day. That doesn't mean that you're still not improving on like leg day. You know, you might have skipped, you know, one day, but it doesn't like stop that straight line. You know, it's not like you're like branching out and trying to like improve yourself in like different areas. And let's just go back to the whole smiling thing. Okay, you smiled at 2 people yesterday, right? You smiled at 5 today. Tomorrow you might smile at 1 person. Okay, maybe you had a lot of stuff going on. You just didn't want to like, you know, basically like force yourself to be happy and, you know, just give somebody a smile for fuck's sake, you know. But then, you know, tomorrow, well, the following day, you might smile at 10 people. You know, so it's not just gonna be like a continuous straight line, right? Those lines will have like dots in it here and there, but it's still, in my opinion, it's still kind of like a linear like progress.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I mean, as long as you have a clear goal of what you want to be, then the progress is usually going to be linear.
Yeah.
But especially when it comes to something like like I don't know, like improving your like personality, stuff like that. That's gonna be a constant fucking. There's no end goal for that. That's gonna be constant.
Yeah. Tom
Yeah.
says he remembers the time where I used to constantly eat rice and broccoli. Yeah, that was a struggle, man. But hey, man, just gotta keep it up.
Mm-hmm.
I could be comparing myself to my friends that used to eat out every day, and if I were to do that, I would have lost my edge. So
Yeah.
Bro, not gonna lie, I was gonna go on a keto diet and I had the whole fucking thing planned out, right? I was just gonna eat chicken and white rice every day. Turns out you can't eat white rice. And now I gave up on it. I was like, fuck that.
yeah, you can. Isn't keto just like all meat? Right?
It's, yeah, you can't have any carbs, which I think white rice has carbs in it.
Yeah, white. That's all carbs, dog.
Bro,
Yeah.
I just love white rice.
Okay.
It goes so well with chicken.
I think
Yeah.
anything goes well with chicken, broccoli.
Must be nice to know what dieting is, because like I have such a high metabolism that like just by me not having a car and having to walk to the bus stop, I lost 10 pounds.
Bro,
Oh
my
my God.
metabolism doesn't exist.
And I eat so much. No, for real. Like I really eat a lot. And like I have not moved between the range of like 201 to 205. Like I keep bouncing back and forth.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we done with this topic so we can move on with another one?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's see. Okay, here's a good one. And this one, I feel like a lot more people need to hear. Especially when it comes to treating yourself right. So this one is rule number 2. It says, treat yourself like someone you are responsible for helping.
I mean, that one's kind of self-explanatory, my dog.
Yeah, the earlier rules are more self-explanatory.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about that? Treat yourself like if you are someone you are responsible for helping.
I mean, yeah, there's no real way to like argue against that one because that's ideally what you should do.
Well, let's see someone is genuinely confused by this statement. Like, how do you interpret it?
So you got this one because I have no way to word that shit.
What about you, Abyssal?
Honestly,
Yeah.
here's the issue with like trying to explain it or trying to like interpret it as somebody who's confused, right?
Mhm.
I can't.
You can't.
I honestly can't. To be honest with you.
Okay. Let me, because I was confused when I first read this, and I am just gonna be like, yeah, I was confused when I first read this. I was like, well, like, how can I treat myself other than someone? How can I not treat myself like I'm treating myself? You know, like I am myself. You know. But the thing is that like, you put in more care to things you are responsible for, right? Like you treat your dog more like lavishly than you do, right? You care about like how comfortable your dog is. You care about if your dog is always fed. You care about if your dog is always happy. You care about if your dog
Oh.
is like wanting to go for the walk. So you take the extra walk. You might not like the walk, but you're doing it because the dog enjoys it and it's good for his health. You don't care about you, right? You're gonna still go out and eat unhealthy, right? But you care about if your dog is eating healthy. You know?
Oh, I see. So basically, this just has to deal with people who basically don't put themselves first, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's about it. That's the simple version of it, right? It's like, why are you treating people more better than how you treat yourself?
Because yeah, that also leads to like a whole mentality of like you put yourself in shitty situations with shitty people because you feel like you have to be there for them.
Mm-hmm.
Like I recently went through that and it is garbage. It is poo poo duty, dude.
Yeah, and then when you can't provide it anymore, they be like, I'm not feeling this. Personal experience, by the way, just saying.
Oh yeah, in my case I had to block her, but like that's how that ended up turning out, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So, Like, I find it weird because a lot of people don't treat themselves like the way how they need to treat themselves. They're just like, I need to start eating healthier, right? But yet they go out and eat this big meal, and they don't do any exercise, and they're just like, yeah, whatever. But if it was their kid, they'd be like, hey, you're eating all your vegetables, and you're eating this, and then we're gonna go to the park and play. You know?
Yeah.
People don't treat themselves like that. People just like put more effort, and I feel like I'm guilty of this too, dude. I'm legitimately guilty about this. Like for me, I'm just saying I want to go out and like just like go make friends, right? Because I'll be better. But it's just like I'd rather stay inside and play fucking video games. You know?
Yeah, but that also comes to a argument of is what you're doing like because is forcing yourself to do something you don't want to do treating yourself better.
And then that's where it becomes where you start fighting within yourself, right?
Yeah, like, because I could care less, you know, if I fucking, because people recommend you go outside. Homie, ever since I got this work at home job, I go outside and like fucking dead morning, work out, and then go back inside. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen the sunlight in fucking years, my guy.
I just find it interesting that people treat stuff they're responsible for better than they actually, you know, what's that called? Treat themselves. It's kind of sad. People should treat themselves like a king first, even if they don't like it or not.
But, I don't know, because like personally for me, 9 times out of 10, I'll always put some, like my friends and my loved ones before me. That's just who I am.
I had to stop that. I was sorry, bro, but I had to stop
Shit,
that
don't get me wrong.
because I've done that, right? And then there was this one time I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go buy myself a new keyboard. I'm gonna go buy myself all this other stuff, right? And then this one time, my mom hit me with the, damn, how can you do that to your own mother? I was like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, where the hell did this come from? What happened to like all the years where I was there for you, like doing, like doing this stuff, and just because I wanted to spend my money on myself, it's like all of a sudden like it's a big issue. So this can also go into like, some people just feel more pride in being there for somebody and just having the the words to say like, damn, I actually made somebody else's life a lot easier. And then slowly but surely they start thinking to the point where like, treating somebody at the best that you can do is better than like putting yourself first. And that's where a lot of us like tend to like, fuck up basically.
Yeah.
Because one day when you're like going through some shit, are these same people gonna be there for you? Or when you can like provide that support, how are people gonna like react? Basically.
Yeah, like something you brought up with the whole, when she was like, how could you do your own mother like that? Like, people will always, they'll forget the nice things you did for them, but the moment you don't do something or for them, they remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Like negative experience.
Leo, you just hitting the fucking points for me, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah, like I don't know why people are programmed to just, oh yeah, this negative experience immediately overrides every positive thing he's done for me, or something like that. I don't know. I think that's dumb.
Yeah. You really can't like you really can't live without like, both sides, right? You have to talk about the good and the bad, but like and then this is just my way of thinking. If the good is marginally outweighing the bad, why are we still talking about the bad? Like, okay, Leo forgot to take out the trash, but he did pay rent.
Yeah,
You feel me?
Hey,
you kind of right though. Hold on.
You feel me? Why did you take out the trash? I mean, he did pay rent, but why didn't you take out the trash? Like, what is that?
Bro, it makes
You
no
know?
sense. I was like, dude, man, I'm just trying to exist over here. Leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys like took that one and ran with it. To be honest,
Yeah.
that one's a big
Listen,
one, man.
man.
A lot of people don't treat themselves how they should treat themselves. We all
Yeah.
know we're all guilty of it.
Yeah, hands down. Like, everybody does it.
Yeah.
I recently went through that. I poured all my emotion into one person, and I kind of burnt out because I had nothing left to give myself. So I had to reset that recently.
Yeah. Yeah.
And being burnt out on emotion leaves you prone to lashing out randomly at
Yeah.
small things. And if I were to actually keep that rule and, you know, thought about it during that time, I would have been like, oh, wait, I'm like legitimately in this bad spot. I could fix it. And that's why I like to like go through this book time and time again and see what I could catch myself on.
Yeah.
So let's see. Here's another one. I don't know which one I want to do.
Bro, you got like, what, 4 more?
I got 12, or there's 24 in total.
Oh, shit.
I want to be... Okay, let's do this one. I'm kind of curious, because this one, I work in the tech field, and I'm a legitimately beginner at this, so this one I might have a lot to say, but I want to see what you guys are, what your opinion on this one is. So this is rule 9. Assume the person you are listening to might know something you don't.
That's what we're doing right now.
Yeah. I don't know shit, bro. I'm gonna be honest. Anybody listen to me, they're doing it wrong. I don't know shit. Bro, no thoughts, head empty 24/7.
Well, it depends, right? Like, let's say that someone comes up to you, right, and they're trying to teach you how to add. Okay? And you're just like, yeah, okay, 2 plus 2 is 4, right? And you're just like, okay, but like, there's many different ways of adding. And let's say, like, the way how they added was like, it helped you understand a way how to solve another problem that you're working with that's completely unrelated. If that makes any sense.
I'll be damned if I ever do math, that's for damn sure.
Like, I could come up with a real world example. There's this story on Reddit that I read. It was about a guy who made a computer program to help out a bunch of Japanese bakery things. So this one manager of a Japanese bakery commissioned this one programmer to do inventory for their store because over there in Japan they don't like packaging at all. If people see packaging bread or like anything that's packaged, they consider it as processed and not fresh. So people who own bakeries don't like to use packaging. So if you're selling, you know, donuts or whatever, and you don't have packaging, how the hell are you supposed to know how much that item costs? You know? So that means you have to memorize all the breads and all the prices in order for you to charge customers appropriately. So the guy told the programmers like, hey, can we have a computer program that takes a picture of the customer's order and then it tallies up the total just by recognizing the shapes of the bread, right? So the programmer's like, oh yeah, that should be easy. So he decided to make a computer program that differentiates bear claws from donuts. He's like, yeah, those differences are so distinct that I should be able to determine if it's a bear foot, or a donut. So he made the computer program, and the bakery guy was just like, nah, this is shit. I don't like it. I'm not paying you. But then all of a sudden, this doctor was just like, hey, you know what looks very similar to cancer cells? Bread.
What? What the fuck?
Yeah. Bread
Homie,
looks
I
like
hear the
cancer
weirdest
cells.
damn connections.
So, he used the dude's program to detect cancer in patients. So that's why you always assume that you always have something to gain out of something so damn trivial. Hence, this doctor would be like, yeah, of course it's a computer program, and it differentiates between bread and bear claws. Like, oh, I'm pretty sure kindergarten could do that. But and then he actually like took it seriously, and he's like, wait, I could use this for cancer research. So if he didn't take that rule into like,
We got rich bread swimming around.
yeah, if he didn't take that rule into account, he would have dismissed the whole thing of just being like, oh yeah, that's pretty cute. You know, he made a computer program that differentiates bread from bare feet. What a simple program. But yet now this program is helping people, you know, helping people beat cancer, which is crazy. And that's what I take away from that rule. I know it kind of sounds like, well, like, assume something, the person you're listening to knows something you don't. Right? You could take it in the most literal sense, right? Assume that a person talking to you knows something that you don't. Why the hell are you even listening to them in the first place if they're going to say something you already know?
Yeah.
Why are you going to give them that breath? You know? I don't know. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah. I hear you,
I don't know
man.
if I sound mean or anything. It's just like, if someone's gonna repeat the exact same thing that you just repeated 2 seconds ago, there's no need for them to say it. So they're not gonna say it. Why are you gonna listen to that? You don't need to listen to that. You don't need to go rewatch the same movie you just watched 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's a reason why we listen. People just listen to listen. And people don't know the line between like, hey, I'm listening to you now, but here's the time where I want to listen, and here's the time where it's kind of like pointless. And that's what this rule kind of gets into. It's like, only listen to things that have some value to you. You know, it might not be like you might learn something. It might just be like you just going through the notion of talking to the person or listening to the person that gives you value. Like, there's certain people that I genuinely give a shit about. Like, it doesn't matter what they talk about, as long as I'm listening to them, I'm happy.
Yeah.
So this rule could go pretty far. I know it kind of sounds like a dead rule, but it's a
It reminds me of that fucking if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room kind of fucking saying.
yeah. Basically, yeah. If you're the smartest person in the room, you shouldn't belong in that room. Yeah, it goes off the same premise.
Yeah, which also leads into what I was saying, like probably almost an hour ago. I mean, if you're not, if you're not in the room to like learn or gain experience from somebody, then what's the point of even being in there? You know what I mean? It literally goes back to the same thing.
Yeah, but I also feel like there's a certain like negative thing that can happen from only looking forward to gain stuff. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
nice to just chill out and vibe, you know?
Yeah.
You shouldn't always be looking to pursue knowledge or shit like that. Just sometimes take what you have and just vibe with it, dude.
Yeah, the thing with petting the cat.
Yep. I ain't gonna touch no cats with rabies though. Just saying.
Bro, fuck that. I'm just getting a rabies shot. I ain't fucked up.
Oh, no. Okay, let's go on to the next rule. So, okay, this one kind of seems self-explanatory. Many people have a hard time determining what are friends. So it says, Rule 3, make friends with people who want the best for you.
Yeah. I mean, in general, yeah. Why would you want to be friends with somebody who doesn't want what's best for you?
Because they're pleasant to be around.
What?
You can have
Well, if
people who
anyone-
are pleasant to be around, but yet they're not the best for you. So you know.
I guess?
Like, let's throw a hypothetical, right? Let's say you have this like really rich friend, okay? And let's say that you have diabetes, okay? And they buy you all these extravagant sweets that are like rare from like the Middle East or something, right?
I would argue wanting you to be alive is the best for you.
Yeah, but the thing is that like your friend is rich and he always pays for everything, so you hang out with him because you usually have a good time. But he tempts you with all these like extravagant dinners and like sweets
Okay.
and other stuff. that guy, like, you want to surround yourself, and he's like generally doesn't give a shit about that you have diabetes, and he always offers you, you know, just because he doesn't want to be a dick.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. Like, you could be around people or friends, you know, quote unquote friends. But the thing is that they might not always want the best for you. Like, they might be hanging out with them because they're very pleasant to be around, but they might not want the best for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, that person really isn't your friend.
But many people don't know that. It's really
I would
hard.
say, yeah, it's more of an acquaintance at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that because, bro, it's just fucking tough, man. Honestly, because it literally goes back to what we was talking about in chat before I even joined the call. You know, if that person can't come to you and be like, "Hey, Leo, you're fucking up. Hey, Lunik, you're fucking up," is that person really your friend? Because pointing out your flaws is something that's kind of very, very important. You know, if the person is like throwing it in your face, but they're like honestly like, you know, just being straightforward with you, you know, trying to, you know, just trying their best to like look out for your like well-being, whether it's gonna be in kind of like a hurtful way or not, then I would say, yeah, that person is definitely your friend. But it's now, let's go back to the whole like candy thing and the sweets and the, you know, quote unquote exotic dinners and all this other bullshit. You know, this person knows that you have a sickness, right?
Yeah.
And they say, oh, you know, it's not fine. It's just a little, you know, a little can change from you going to the hospital and basically fucking dying, right? So like, if that person really was your friend, they wouldn't have even taken you to like, you know, such a store in the first place. They'd be like, hey, you know, do you want to have lunch somewhere? Let's go to like a farmer's market. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of stuff like that.
I also kind of believe, like, at a certain point, there's a time and place for everything.
Yeah.
So I
Yes.
believe, like, if your friend's like on the fucking verge of, you know, killing themselves, you probably shouldn't be, you know, blunt about the truth.
Yeah.
'Cause
Tongs-
once again, a lot of the times the truth will hurt more than the fucking, you know, just lying to them.
Uh-huh.
And you can lie to them until they're in a better place where they can accept the truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tong
That's why I
says he
don't
hates
believe,
it
like-
when
go
people
ahead.
take advantage of his kindness.
Yeah,
To, like,
and
lead into
that's
that.
yeah, that's gonna happen when you put people like ahead of you, hands down. That
Yeah.
Mhm.
100%.
Okay, I feel like we hit the points on that one. So now we're going back to the first rule, and this one is kind of hard to explain, but I kind of like the analogy that Peterson goes into, where the thing is stand up straight with your shoulders back. How do you guys interpret that rule?
bro, I slouch everywhere. God, don't fucking ask me that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do not got posture. But that
Well-
seems something more like how you present yourself to the outside world, if anything.
So the way how Peterson goes about this chapter is that he explains it that whenever crabs go out and they're trying to find mates, they usually fight. You know? And the bigger the crab, you know, obviously the stronger it is because he's like the alpha. And he gets to pick whatever mate he wants, right? The crab wants. But whenever a crab loses, right? Like let's see the crab loses like 100%. And he was the alpha, and then he loses again, and then the crab starts like, you know, becoming conscious of him losing all the time. So him losing gives him a greater chance of losing again, and then that chance of losing becomes greater because he's lost that many times, right? And so he's always in that state of like, I'm the little guy now, and it actually shows in nature that the crabs actually get smaller. But and then a bunch of scientists decide to give crabs antidepressants for some fucking reason, and
It's like doing a bear cocaine.
yeah, right. And then the crab, the next day, he was fighting and getting his ass kicked, and fighting and getting his ass kicked, and fighting and getting his ass kicked. But yet, it just took that one thing where he had to prepare, right? The crab had to prepare instead of just dig inside its own shell. And so what this goes into is that whenever it means by like stand up straight with your shoulders back, right? Whenever you think about that, that means you're in a stance to handle everything, right? You're in a stance to handle whatever life has to throw at you, right? You can't handle certain things lying down or sitting down. But you can handle a good 99% of things, standing up straight with your shoulders back, right? It's not the best stance for everything, but it's just like you got to take life as it is and might as well be in the correct posture to deal with everything, or at least a majority of everything, instead of being always in the back foot. So that's what that rule has to be like, that goes upon it. So what are you guys' thoughts on that?
Just a random thought here, right? So I saw this video about a chihuahua, right?
Mhm.
And a hawk picked him up, right? And now I'm scared that's gonna happen to my dog.
Oh no.
Bro, I don't know what the fuck's gonna go on. I'm about to like dress him in battle armor every time he goes out now.
You gotta be prepared, dude. You gotta get that chihuahua secured,
Dude, I'm about to like put spikes all on his back and shit.
Yeah. Just a random thought as well. I wish I was prepared the day that I was gonna get dumped after 8 years. So yeah.
Damn.
So
That
so
fucking
that was so that was something that I did not prepare for. I mean, I was, I was prepared to like have like some sort of failure somewhere in life, getting fired from my job. I was okay with that. I was like, okay, this one was to be expected, but I didn't expect it to happen so soon because I was just doing poorly then. So like, but then like the whole breakup, I'm like, holy shit, this came out of left field, and it was just done like all of a sudden, like I knew like a lot of things won't last forever, but the way things were going between us, I was like, damn, we're like a power couple, ain't shit gonna happen, and then boom, it happened. So that right there is what like led to me like I was basically the crab in the whole
Yeah.
in the whole like situation, right? Like just that one like major defeat. I'm like, well, damn. I guess like there's nothing to me here then. I guess, huh? So
And then
but then
Oh, go ahead.
I was like, that opens you up to losing more in the future.
yeah. So basically, yeah. You basically said the same thing I was about to say. That just says, you know what, bro? Here's what's gonna happen. It happened to you once. Just expect it to happen again. So this time around, the defeat, the defeat wouldn't like hurt as bad as the first one, basically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know, like, I don't know, dude. Shit. Bitches ain't shit, bro. Bitches ain't shit, dude. That's all I'm gonna leave it as.
Okay. See, we went through a lot of these already. I think we're only missing like 2. Actually 3. So this one, I'll go for it.
Oh, fuck. Oh, okay. So, I was gonna say, dude, the whole crab losing a fight, if it was me, dude, I'm built different, dude. I'm a Redditor, so
Oh no,
that never happens to me.
because you don't fight in the first place.
Yeah, you're right. I just beta my way out of every situation.
No. Shit, brother.
I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and take this one as well. I mean, sometimes isn't it better to like run away? To be honest.
Yeah, there's a certain point where it just becomes more beneficial to just get out of the situation. You know, if I see a fucking
Yeah.
bear, I'm not gonna fight that bitch. I'm out of there, dude. What the fuck?
And not to take your topic away, Lunik.
Mhm.
But the whole like running away thing, we were told as young boys, you always gotta fight for what's right and do this and do this, that, and the third. But I live in the hood, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And this whole mentality of like, the whole hero complex will get me shot down here. So sometimes it's just better, unfortunately, to turn a blind eye, so that way I don't end up in the hospital or not, or not like
Yeah,
basically
dead.
dying, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And like at a
So
certain point, it's like it's a toxic mentality that's taught to people. Like, why the fuck do you have to fight for everything you want, dude?
Mhm.
yeah,
Like, that also gets people into like toxic relationships. You know, you want love, you have to constantly fight for that shit. Bro, love should come fucking naturally. That shit should come
yeah.
easy as shit. You don't have to fight for it.
Hmm.
Yep. I do agree with that. All right, let's do the last point, and then we're gonna end the stream.
Hmm.
This one seems like a good one to end on. It says, "Pursue what is meaningful, not what is expedient."
So, I don't know what the fuck that means. They use the word. I don't know, brother.
So chase what is meaningful to you, but not what is the most quickest, right? It's like, oh, I really like this girl, so you just like go in and you're just trying to get a quick nut, you know?
Yeah.
You like, what's really the goal is to like genuinely get to know this person, and then if that like other stuff entails, then it'll be even more richer because you have an emotional connection with this person. To put it in
Oh,
simple
I see.
terms. So
I don't know.
pursue what is
So
meaningful but not expedient.
okay, so basically you're trying to like, instead of like taking what you have right there and run with it, basically you're trying to like feel it out first and see well, how this is gonna like work out for you in the long run as like kind of like an example that's going through in my head right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Because if we use like a relationship as an example, yeah, she might be a bad bitch and whatnot. The pussy might be great, but what is she gonna do for you for the next 30 years? You know what I mean?
Damn, boy. That's what you gonna do.
that's just my in interpretation of it. Like how like okay like is this like do I want to make this person my wife or whatnot or like do I really see myself like with this job for like the next 20, 30 years or whatnot, or is it just like here for quick money and that's it?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, see, for me, because I think a little differently on this, I like to live like I like to enjoy what I have at the moment. I think everybody's so worried about the future and shit that it just brings down your general happiness. You're always so worried, oh, what's the next step? Bro, just enjoy what you have currently. Whatever happens is gonna in the future is gonna happen anyway.
Yeah, I agree with that. I also disagree with that, but
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just how I look at everything. I like to enjoy what I have, and whatever happens tomorrow is fucking tomorrow's problem, not mine. Or
mhm.
not
I mean,
today's.
my struggle right now, honestly, is trying to enjoy the life I have today while worrying about what the fuck I'm gonna do tomorrow. That's like one of the biggest conflicts I'm struggling with. Do I enjoy myself in the moment or do I also plan or do
Yeah, I
I
mean,
also plan for tomorrow? You know what I mean?
yeah, like I'm doing stuff to like improve my future, currently, sure. But at the same time, I'm not worrying about my future. Whatever happens, happens. If I wake or if I fucking die tomorrow, it happens. Life happens.
Okay.
There's no
Okay.
point really stressing over something that is gonna inevitably happen anyway.
Okay.
That's just how I see it, though.
I see it as like never take the easy way out. always take the harder way if it makes you more happier in it. Like right now, I kind of bit the bullet of taking the job that I currently have right now because it was one of the first jobs that was offered and it was the best offer. But the thing is that like I would prefer another position that has to deal with more with like malware instead of just like physical appliances. But like
Yeah.
I took the first option that was expedient. It was still kind of related to what I like, which is cybersecurity, right? But I think I would have been more a tad bit happier. I wouldn't say a lot, but I would say like a little bit more. I would have preferred it a little bit more if I were to get the malware side instead of the appliance side. And I just felt like just putting in and just waiting a little bit more, just so I could get that little bit more of a bump and reward, other than just taking what is expedient.
At the same time, you're still getting valuable experience out of what you're doing now.
Exactly.
You're getting a broader range of in your field, which is good, you know. And that would make you more attractive to people who want to, you know, hire someone
Red
with your
team.
skill set.
Yeah, I want to do what Tong's doing, being a red teamer. Yeah, so like imagine it like this. So you have a plant, okay? And this plant bears some really good fruit. And this fruit tastes amazing, right? It goes good with anything. The thing is that the plant only grows more fruit depending on how much fruit it has on the plant. So you could harvest that good fruit as soon as the first fruit comes out, or you could leave it until it starts growing more and more, and then it grows rapidly, instead of you just killing the plant as soon as it grows one fruit.
Yeah.
So it depends on you, right? It's like, hey, you can have that fruit right now, it'll be good as hell, and you'll be satisfied. But you can have more later if you just chilled out and just watch them bloom. So I guess like that's like the simple like kid analogy of the TLDR of pursue what is
True.
meaningful, not expedient.
Okay, so in this conversation, it's safe to say that like meaningful just means like long term, right?
Well, meaningful is like, why do you care about the plant, right? Like, I want to eat it, right? It means something because I want to eat it. Like, meaningful would be like for me, in my situation, I want to make a friend over here where I live at. And I'm not trying to like instantly go and get someone's number and make them my friend. I want to make sure that they're the right friend for me, right? I want to make sure
Yeah.
that like this friend who I have is like gonna have my back in the future instead of just like having a friend just to call him and just be like, yeah, let's go out in the weekend. Yeah, let's go out on the weekend. But if I have a flat
Yeah.
tire and I need to be picked up, like they're not gonna be there for me. So that's something that's the how the rule is or what it explains.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I was about to say if you have a flat tire and you need picked up, I can't do it, bro. I ain't got a driver's license.
Gee.
Yo.
Yeah, but you would try to find like a family member who does, right? Like
Yeah. I mean,
if you're a true homie, you'd be like, oh, let's see if my brother has free time. You know, it's not like you're not
Yeah.
gonna do anything or ignore the text. You're gonna be like, oh damn, I have no way to help you, but probably this person can.
bro, I'd call AAA easy. I'll pay for it, bro.
Ooh. And get an Uber, right?
Yeah, literally get an Uber. That solves your problem.
Right. Yeah, but that's just stream right there, you guys. I actually streamed longer than I should have, an actual whole 2 hours more than I should have. So like all you guys who stuck by, all you guys who followed, I really appreciate it. Like any of you guys watching, I legitimately appreciate anyone who stopped by. I'm glad that you guys actually stuck around from this talk. Usually, I don't talk about this stuff because kind of just like all in your head, and people don't like talking about feels, especially like around this time because everything's so chaotic. But I'm glad that Abyssal stuck out and lent his hand, and then Leo joined in to further bolster this conversation. And I feel like it was a good, genuine back and forth conversation. Other than that, like, if you guys want to check out Jordan Peterson, because that's where I was getting all the rules from. Jordan Peterson, 12 Rules for Life, that's the first book. And then Jordan Peterson, Beyond Order, that's the second book. So, um, many people don't like Jordan Peterson, but hey, like, if you find any value within the thoughts of those books, like, it's worth it, dude. Like, there's a reason why it was a bestseller. Not everyone has to agree with the whole book, but there was some good talking points, and it was very refreshing to like go through this, especially on Twitch. This would be like a good, Twitch video to go back on and see everyone's opinion back then, like a year from now.
True.
So yeah, like honestly, like good night, you guys, and thanks for stopping by. Anything you, Leo, or Abyssal want to say before?
I'm about to pass the fuck out too, brother.
I just died at Toro. That's all I gotta say. Cause it's
Bro,
nighttime.
I threw all my my fucking gear on a striker because I was like, after watching the fucking striker tourney, I was like, I want to play striker, dude. That looks so fucking cool. And I accidentally AFK in the middle of polys, and it fucking killed me, and it broke a crystal.
Oh no.
Bro,
Alright,
I
you
can't believe
guys.
I lost the crystal to polys.
I'll see you guys later. Hope you guys enjoyed it.